Hello everybody, thanks for joining me again. We're going to kick off today with something different. It's going to be an unboxing of Le Barbier de Tanger and a few other fragrances that somebody sent me this week. Here we go.
Okay, something rare for my channel. This is an unboxing and hopefully this is going to be Le Barbier de Tanger. I've already got 12 mils of this, but I got another 12 mil sample of someone in a Facebook group, and he said he's thrown in a few goodies. I think one of them, well, I know one of them is Agua de Colonia Notes de Colonia number 3, but he didn't have to throw anything extra in, but he did. It was very kind of him. Thank you very much, Ian. And let's see what we've got here then. So here we go.
Oh, Jesus Christ, come on. Open up. Open. God's sake, I want my fragrance. I want my fragrance now. Jesus Christ. God's sake. Come on. How much wrapping do you need? God's sake. Come on, you will open. Open. God's sake, come on, come on. Come on. Open, obey me, obey me. Let's see what we've got then.
Wow, Atelier Vetiver Fatale. That is very generous. That's a good 20 mils. I can't believe you threw that in. Thank you so much. That'll be very interesting to try. I think this might be the main item here. Let's find out. That's the right shape. Yep. This is Parfums MDCI Le Barbier de Tanger. So I know all about this one. It's great stuff. Let's just have a sniff. Yep, that's it, alright. Okay, still more to come. What have we here? This one is Auto Portrait. I have no idea who that's by or what it's supposed to be, but again, there's about 10 mils there. Really generous, and I did not ask for that. Thank you so much. Then we've got Acqua di Parma, Colonia 3. These are Notes de Colonia 3. Again, I think we've got 10 mils there. That's really brilliant for the money that I paid him. He's been very generous. And I think that is it. Thank you, Ian.
Okay, so before we get started properly today, thanks to everybody who's voted so far in the Fragrance League table. That was my previous video, so I'm giving you the chance to vote for your favourite fragrance. You can vote for any fragrance in the world, and you just say, I vote for, and then fragrance X, Y, or Z, and that will count as one vote. You can do it in the last video or this video, and I'm counting all the votes up. Very soon, I'm going to publish the first league table, and let's see who's coming out on top. So far, I've noticed Dior Sauvage getting a lot of votes. Aventus by Creed is also doing really well, and amongst others I have noticed quite a few votes for Dolce & Gabbana's The One. So your chance to get involved, please vote in this video or the last one. So today what we're going to be talking about is my top 3 barbershop scents, and we're going to do it with a special focus on a new release that I'm really excited about, and it's MDCI Parfums Le Barbier de Tanger. This one just came out fairly recently, and it's the same people who did Invasion Barbar, which is a really highly regarded niche barbershop type fragrance. So I guess this is their follow-up to that one. And Le Barbier de Tanger means the barber of Tangiers. It's a city in Morocco. So here's what the company tells us about this one and the note breakdown. According to Claude Machal, creative director of Parfums MDCI, It is inspired by a real barbershop experience that dates back to a time when I spent quite a lot of time in the Middle East, Lebanon, Syria and Morocco. Anyone who has had a chance to visit or live in these parts of the world are forever marked by certain things, such certain lights, sounds and of course smells, sort of emblematic of these countries. Food markets, souks, streets, unforgettable odours of sun-drenched ports or ancient cities. I kept in mind an unforgettable memory of a barbershop in Tangiers, Morocco, hence the name. Tangiers was once a very cosmopolitan city. This particular barbershop offered the best of both worlds, Arabic-style service and old-fashioned European decor and supplies. A single drop of this fragrance brings me back there. Top notes on this one are basil, cardamom, lemon, bergamot, yellow tangerine, and what is described as a clean note used for the first time by Pierre Bourdon in Cool Water by Davidoff. Mid notes are lavender, petitgrain, galbanum, pineapple and apple, and in the base we have patchouli, vetiver, amber, wood notes and oak moss. Barbershop scents then are scents which conjure up the feeling of having been to the barbers, or perhaps actually feature smells one might expect to smell in the barbers. We traditionally talk about notes such as lavender in there and oak moss, but I don't think there's really any clear definition of what has to be in there. But what we're looking at with barbershop scents for me is a soapy, clean, yet very masculine scent, usually with herbal notes, so things like lavender would be the classic example, maybe rosemary, that kind of thing, quite possibly some oak moss and some woods in the base, with perhaps some citrus in the opening. So it's not terribly clear for me, the barbershop thing. It's more of a feeling, a mood or emotion, an overall ambience that the scent evokes rather than specific notes for me. Le Barbier de Tanger then, so far I've worn it 2 or 3 times. I've been testing it on paper and on my skin just around the house. I'm really loving this one. I'll just spray it a little bit more to remind myself exactly how it smells. Hang on. So I'll just take another sniff. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it's got a really piercing, astringent opening. It's very fresh. It reminds me a little bit of fresh linen that's just been ironed. And there's a lot of greenness in there, so a green bitter kind of feeling comes across. Very pleasant though. Definitely some lavender and herbal notes. And when you're wearing it, that woody masculine element really comes through strongly. It just reminds you of being extremely well groomed, perhaps sometime back in the 1950s or 60s. You feel a bit like Humphrey Bogart in a really nice suit. And there's a little bit of creaminess in there, which you also got in Invasion Barbar. So far, this is one of my absolute favourites in the style. Performance has been really good. The smell is fantastic. The price is very high, so it does need to be good. But if you really like herbal, masculine barbershop type scents, if you're into the wet shaving scene, stuff like that, this one really conjures up that kind of feeling of an old-fashioned, well-groomed gentleman who's just had the towel around his face, and somehow you can almost imagine yourself in that barbershop when you smell it. Speaking of barbershops, I went into my local barber's the other day, and the barber said to me, what will it be today, sir? So I said, I'd like a grade 3 on the back and side. I'd like you to just cut it almost without paying much attention to what you're doing, any old messy way on top. Leave me one sideburn slightly longer than the other, and make sure you're really heavy-handed with the razor on the back of my neck so you leave the skin all red and irritated. He said, why on earth do you want me to do it like that? I said, well, that's how you did it last time. So I've really enjoyed this one. There's pineapple and apple listed in there. To be honest, I don't particularly pick out those notes specifically. But there is a little bit of a citrus element going on, particularly in the opening, but it's not terribly strong in terms of citrusness. I would describe it more as herbal and woody, and really embodying that aromatic fougere, meaning fern-like, that fern-like smell, which initially, when the style of fougere was invented, was supposed to encapsulate the smell of a fern that had never actually existed but was imagined. I think that's what the person who came up with Fougere Royale for Houbigant actually described as his rationale for this fougere style. So herbal goodness, cleanliness and a retro masculine vibe is what you get from this scent. I'm really liking it so far. I better just mention then Invasion Barbar, because that's the other classic from these guys, MDCI, and I do have a sample of it. So let's spray a bit of Invasion Barbar and do a little quick comparison. Okay, this one is much sweeter and more creamy. It doesn't have the bitterness or the astringency of Le Barbier de Tanger. It's a very pleasant smell, but to me it's less obviously barbershop. Maybe it's neo barbershop. It reminds me just a tiny bit of Le Mal by Jean-Paul Gaultier, and I just just mean a smidgen of that in there. Certainly an enjoyable scent, but to me less obviously that retro barbershop feel, and perhaps more of a modern barbershop feel. Certainly fresh and clean, but a rather creamy, seductive undertone to this one. So you could certainly own both and find that they had different places in your wardrobe and in your life. But Invasion Barbar, quite interesting. So far for me, if I'm looking for an out-and-out barbershop theme, I prefer Le Barbier de Tanger. So my top 3 barbershop scents, what are they? And does Le Barbier de Tanger make it? Okay, couple of quick honourable mentions. First of all, Sartorial by Penhaligon's, an excellent barbershop scent with beeswax and the smell of a trouser press in there, alongside some other typical fougere notes. And also, Maison Margiela Replica at the Barber's is another good one that I've been exploring recently, and I may get a bottle of it soon, but it didn't quite make my top 3 yet. My top 3. Yes, at number 3, I'm going to go with Le Barbier de Tanger. I'm loving this scent. Retro 60s or 70s kind of vibe, with really good performance. That aromatic fougere style to a T. Rather expensive, but if you can afford it or get a sample like I did, I only got 2 12mm decants, so I've got 24mm so far. It's going to keep you going a while. Well worth checking out. So coming in at number 2 for me, I'm going with Rive Gauche Pour Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. So this one's really famous. You can still buy it today in the La Collection series. I have got the tin can version as well, and here is the tin can version of Rive Gauche, and that is such a great design. Real shame that they don't sell it in this variation anymore. And there is just overwhelming similarity between the two. I haven't tested them extensively enough to say whether they're identical, but certainly my little cube one here with the not so fun design as the tin can one performs well and smells really creamy and of shaving foam to me. There's some woodiness in there too, there's lavender, and there's a little bit of an anise licorice type of note. I love Rive Gauche. I can wear it anytime, nighttime or daytime. Very versatile, and a real retro vibe with this one. One of the best releases from Yves Saint Laurent in the last 20 years, I would venture to suggest. If you want the epitome of the barbershop style, just go into a shop that sells this and try it out. That's going to tell you if the barbershop style is for you or not. Really nice, not too much citrus or lemon in this one, but more of that creamy shaving foam feel, and really excellent stuff. So for me, my number 1 barbershop style scent is Acqua di Parma Colonia Essenza. This one leans a little bit more towards the citrus side of things. Neroli doesn't seem to be listed as a note, but a lot of people mention a Neroli note and even compare it a bit to Neroli Portofino, but it's much more masculine than that. There's patchouli in there, there's rosemary, there's musk, and there's amber, so there are a lot of masculine elements in this one, but it's very fresh, it's very clean, and the citrus elements, I think there's tangerine and maybe even grapefruit, various citrus things in the opening. It's sort of a little bit of a sweet smell. It's probably the sweetest of the 3, and it's perhaps the most modern. It smells very easy to like, easy to wear in any time of the year, daytime or nighttime, and it's the essence of a sophisticated Italian gentleman to me, this one. So my favourite barbershop so far doesn't contain lavender, but I think it's fair to say Acqua di Parma, most of them have a barbershop vibe, and this one as a flanker to the 1916 original classic Colonia. It just seems like a slightly more modern and perhaps more masculine and more rich interpretation of that scent. A 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love this one. And for me, the number 1 barbershop, but that's only at the moment because my fragrance journey is quite young and I'm still looking for that ultimate barbershop scent. What are your favourite barbershop scents? Any that I need to try that I haven't mentioned? I'm sure I haven't tried enough yet to really know, but at the moment my top 3, Le Barbier de Tanger, then Rive Gauche, and top of the tree for me, Colonia Essenza, Acqua di Parma. Thanks very much for watching. As ever, whatever we're doing in life, let's project.